Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Arceus Night here with another fanfiction reading with Arceus. Today we're going to be reading My Little Pony's Little Ponies by Baby Boo. Let's get on with this. Chapter 1, Salon of Doom. Twilight sparkled quite like the rainy day now and then. Wet weather did away with the tiny nagging feeling that staying indoors all day with her books might be unduly self-indulgent. And the rumble of rain could strangely be more peaceful than silence, so long as she had no plans to be spoiled and the weather Pegasi didn't stack too many of them in a row. Then, yes, Twilight was usually just fine with a good rainstorm. Usually. But usually she wasn't trapped inside with it. The mind-destroying monster, the scourge of all scholars, the silent beast that watched her every move and makes each moment of misery. This wretched, miserable, blank sheet of paper. It taunted her. The only way to defeat the blasted thing was to cover its thought-sucking surfaces with words, but so far she had only written enough to give the creature a name, on magic, friendship, and the elements of harmony. Adding by Twilight Sparkle did no more than bind the nemesis personally to her soul. Below that was the accumulation of her efforts thus far. And that's it. After countless false starts, and she was reasonably sure that "the" was the right way to kick off after "the," surely the remaining 999 words would be a piece of cake. 1,000-word essays. I hate those. She didn't have anything to say. Everything she had learned of friendship had been, and its relation to magic, she had already poured out into weekly letters. Her personal experience building the elements of harmony had been documented in as much detail as her meticulous mind could assemble. She didn't want to repeat things that Celestia had already heard. It wasn't as though she could pop out and find some new magical threats for all of Equestria to defeat for the sake of fresh materials, even if she hadn't learned well to go off looking for trouble just to complete an assignment. The prospect of waking another ancient evil was looking more appealing by the minute. Though, what terror could Discord's brother, or sister, or a volcano goddess, or any other monstrosity hold compared to facing 1,000 words due tomorrow? With nothing to show but a lousy, blasted, hoof-rotted The paper after "the" was worn white and thin with multiple magical erasures, and the sheet was only the latest in a pile already crumpled and tossed aside after reaching their limits of durability. With a sigh, she lifted the quill again with the power of her horn and took another slash at the enemy. The study of magic is... The study of magic is a field which has always been... She screamed through her teeth, dropping her forehead to the desk, gouging a little divot in through the paper with her horn. She glared at the wood grain of the floor, daring it to say anything. Twilight?" came a soft, hesitant voice from across the desk. "What?" Twilight barked, snapping her head up. Spike the baby dragon recoiled, tangling his fingers and ducking his head. The sudden fright in his eyes cut through her annoyance and dug a guilty little claw into her heart. She closed her own eyes for a moment, summoning forth her most gentle tone of voice with extra sugar. "Oh shit, extra sugar. She ain't fucking around now." "I'm sorry. I mean, what is it, Spike, dear?" The unaccustomed endearment made little impact. Still more subdued than his usual confident, cheery self, Spike said, I was gonna make some lunch, but we're out of bread and really low on veggies and stuff." Twilight put on what she had hoped it would resemble a genuine smile. "Oh, well, I guess we could go shopping when the rain lets out if it's not too late," she began, but Spike immediately perked up. "Nah, I don't mind the rain. I don't have all the hair to soak it up like you do." Seeing the excited gleam in his eyes, Is he that eager to get away from me for a while? Twilight gave a dubious nod. Okay, if you really want to go ahead and take some bits from the box, she said. Spike was emotioned by the fourth word. Hearing the jingle of coins from the locked box in the kitchen, she called out, "Hey, Spike, yeah? Take some extra bits and get yourself a treat too, okay?" "Will do, Twilight, thanks!" The cheerful bounce in his step as he left helped raise Twilight's spirit as well as the warm feeling subsided as the door shut behind him, leaving her alone once more with her papery arch nemesis. Chapter 1, Salon of Doom. Twilight assumed that Spike would swing by a Sugar Cube corner and pick up something like cupcakes or cookies. She didn't expect him to bring back an extra pony. While Spike was gone, Twilight managed to arrange her desk to the physical limits of tidiness, and wrote about, but not quite, one complete sentence. Well, progress is progress. When the door banged open, letting in a burst of rain and some sort of pink explosion, Twilight gave a strangled cry and leapt up nearly to the ceiling. Her quill whickered through the air, propelled by an reflexive burst of magic to lodge quivering in the wall. "Twilight!" Pinkie Pie exclaimed in a tone more appropriate to finding the unicorn lying in a pool of blood and quietly struggling over an essay. Before Twilight could react in any sensible way, before she had even landed from her startled leap, "What? I'm fine! What's gotten into you?" "Oh yes, this is serious, Spike. You were right to call me." "What's serious?" Twilight spluttered, pushing Pinkie's hooves aside and backing away irritably. "The worst affliction I've got is the attack of the pinks." Pinkie shook her head and hissed. "Oh, Twilight, you are all cooped up!" She pointed accusingly. Twilight scowled and ran a hoof through her mane to straighten it. "Pinkie, I'm too busy to deal with nonsense right now." "Nonsense, huh?" Pinkie shot Spike a grave, knowing look. "Yep, worst case I've ever seen," the dragon replied, just as somber. "Ugh, for crying out loud, what are you two going on about?" Up there! Pinkie barked in unison with identical solemn expressions. She and Spike held up 2 lengths of soft white rope. 2 identical ropes. Precise as soldiers in drill, Pinkie and Spike looped their ropes in loose knots. And here we have a pair of simple overhoofed knots. Twilight rolled her eyes and opened her mouth to speak again, but Pinkie cut her off. "Now watch, as Spike attempts to undo his knot using method 1, working harder and harder." Theatrically, Spike grabbed the ends of his rope and yanked, drawing the knot tighter. Looking for all the world as though he were surprised by this result, he tugged the ends with ever more determination, claws shredding the fibers while the knot was pulled into a taut, inextricable knot. He scowled at it and continued wrestling with his rope while Pinkie proceeded. Now see as I address my knot by relaxing," she said, drawing the last word out into a soft purr, as she brought the ends of her rope closer together, letting the knot droop between them. The loosely tied knot growing slacker, she raised one end of the rope to let the loop side of its own accord towards her lower hoof. I just let off the tension, let things flow, and voila! Giving the rope a little shake, she had the knot wide and loose enough to drape over her hoof, and letting go of the end, she was able to simply wiggle the rope straight. Behold, the knot is gone! Spike, any luck with yours? Spike shook his head sadly and held up his rope, displaying its firmly locked up knots and torn ends. He bobbed it and delivered the punchline in a perfect deadpan. "Nope, I'm afraid not." Twilight snorted. "Okay, I get it, but really, Pinkie, I just haven't got the time to waste. Will a couple hours be less wasted if you spend them grinding, erasing, and crumpling papers and snapping at Spike than if you spend them doing something light and fun and letting your talky-talk brain watch while your think brain works things out?" Twilight stopped short, a different kind of frown settling onto her features as she finally stopped to think about what Pinkie Pie was saying instead of how to get her to go away. She darted a quick, guilty look at Spike, who wore a mild poker face. Poker face. Meh, 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 meh. Pinkie bounced closer and put her hoof on Twilight's shoulder. For real, I know you gotta get your homework done, but right now you're just tugging and tugging at your knot and it's not helping. I bet you can't even feel the knot right here, can't ya? She tapped lightly on Twilight's forehead just below the base of her horn, and Twilight couldn't deny a feeling of something solid and stressed right under the bone where Pinkie just indicated. Pinkie said to tell you that? Twilight asked dubiously. Nope, common sense. Oh snap. Pinkie with common sense. We're all doomed. Pinkie giggled and leaned forward to look at Twilight straight in the eyes, indifferent as ever to personal space. You need some fun, and that's totally my department. Twilight pondered carefully the odds of successfully arguing with Pinkie, which are essentially none. And after a long, thoughtful pause, considering the inevitable, okay, fine, I do need a break, and I am pushing too hard without getting anywhere, she admitted, sending the pink pony bouncing into light. All right! Pinkie squealed, bounding over to her magenta saddlebags and flicking them open. You're gonna love this! Twilight knew Pinkie well enough to realize that quite literally anything could come out of her big magenta saddlebags. What are you doing?
You need to get downstairs now. No, you're not gonna read the whole thing. 5 minutes. That's it.
Sorry about the interruption. But she was still mystified when it turned out to be a series of miniature buildings. Blinking in puzzlement, Twilight leaned in to inspect one and saw that it was a very detailed hoof-painted replica of Sugar Cube Corner. Pinkie set out about creating a little panorama of Ponyville, landmarks on a book-free patch of floor, each carefully recreated on a tiny scale. Excuse me for a second. Each carefully recreated on a tiny scale. The bakery, the carousel, the boutique, town square's oriental fountain, a sweet apple acre's barn. Wonder dawned and a broad grin across Twilight's features. Pinkie, these are amazing! You even got the library! She couldn't help but give a little squeal when Pinkie set out the miniature library tree, bedecked with tiny silk leaves. Did you make these yourself? Sort of, not from scratch, Pinkie said modestly, though her smile was wide and proud. Mostly they're just ordinary dollhouses I decorated to look like my favorite places. I was gonna make Sugar Cube Corner out of real gingerbread, but that didn't get very far. Anyone want to guess what that means? If you're gonna guess, leave it down below in the comments. Twilight knelt down on her belly to peer closer at the little buildings, tentatively plucking at the library's door and giggling again when she found it did open on tiny hinges. This must have taken you so long. Oh, a little bit here, a little bit there, Pinkie said airily. I've been working on them for years now. It's my rainy day no pony around to party with anything, and now I'm making it your rainy day can't stand to work anymore thing. Twilight raised her head and gave Pinkie a warm smile. I'm really impressed, Pinkie. Thanks for sharing. Pinkie grinned back and pulled out one last box from the saddlebags. Leaning closer, she waggled her eyebrows and said, Oh, but these aren't for looking at, Twilight. I brought this stuff over to play. She turned the box over and dumped a pile of tiny ponies in the middle of the impromptu Ponyville. Twilight's grin froze, slightly. You want to play with dolls? Very nearly succeeding from keeping scorn in her tone. I sure do, Pinky chirped and poked Twilight's shoulder. And you're gonna play with me. Dr. Pinky insists. Are we gonna take freaking orders from a pony like this? Well, if you say so, with a polite smile pasted on, she poked at the pile of dolls. One particularly bright colored pony caught her eye, and her expression swerved again to genuine pleasure, surprised as she lifted the little rainbow-maned Pegasus for a closer look. The carefully painted lightning flash cutie mark on the doll's flank was unmistakable. They make Rainbow Dash dolls? She asked, disbelieving. Now that she knew what to look for, she found other familiar color combinations in the pile, and picked them up. And Fluttershy? Rarity? Huh. And me. Nope, they don't make them. I do! Pinky bounced gleefully. Just plain generic Philly dolls. Paint and patience. Well, except for these two, of course. She drew out a pair of ponies larger than the others. Two regal alicorns. One evening blue and the other... Pinky? Why is your Celestia all... pink? Pinky rolled her eyes and gave a little growl of frustration. Ugh. I don't know why. They're the only ones they sell. You'd think that they could get them right, but no. Hasbro, step up your game, bro. If you can't make a Celestia correct, then just stick with the show. She set the princesses on a high bookshelf overlooking the miniature town, and with a self-satisfied little hum, found a book with a picture of Camelot Castle on its cover to put behind them. Huh. Weird. Twilight shrugged and looked back lovingly at the detailed figures of her friends. This is just bizarrely sweet, Pinky. Have you shown these to any of the others? Just Fluttershy. Not really AJ's or Dashy's kind of thing. Not exactly, no. Twilight put down the rest, but continued to turn the Rainbow Dash doll over in the air, wondering how Pinky managed to put such perfect stripes in her hair. Okay, how do you play with them? Pinky let out a little snort. Oh, come on. I know you've always been the bookie type, but you must know how to play with dolls. There's no trick to it. You just, play with them. She picked up the little mint green unicorn. Mint fucking green. Is anyone thinking of that Lyra doll? Let's just hope that's not like that. Whom Twilight recognized by appearance but not by name, and demonstrated making the doll walk around lightly humming, la 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 la, just like that. Twilight nodded slowly, humoring Pinky, and resolved to give it an honest try. She put the Pegasus doll on the floor and self-consciously trotted it around, looking up towards Pinky to see if she was doing it right. Pinky gave her a little look. A strange look. A strange little look. Twilight! That's Rainbow Dash! Well, yeah. Twilight looked at Pinky blankly, but was only met with a mildly exasperated stare until suddenly she got it. Oh, right! Twilight raised the doll with her horn. Hornlight stretched out its legs and made it swoop in long curves through the air instead of walking. Pinky nodded approval and mimed applause. Giggling, Twilight lowered her voice and tried to imitate Dashy's raspy tones. Phew, I'm Rainbow Dash. I'm the fastest flyer around. I've got to practice for the Wonderbolt. Pinky grinned madly and put aside the green unicorn to pick up Rarity instead, posing her in the doorway of the miniature carousel boutique. Oh, Rainbow Dash, she trilled. Her imitation of the elegant unicorn's lifting inflection was quite close, though it sounded odd in Pinky's higher pitch. Rainbow Dash hovered down near Rarity. Hey, Rarity, what's up? Your mane is a mess. You should let me style it. No way, I like being messy. And I'm way too busy practicing. The brass flyer started to soar away, but Rarity gave a mighty leap and tangled her legs around the protesting Pegasus. Oh no, you don't! You're coming with me! Practicing her aerial combat maneuver of repeatedly bashing into the target with her hooves, Rarity managed to drag Rainbow Dash, kicking and yelling down towards his boutique. Nuh-uh, let me go! Not this time! You're going to look pretty if it kills you! The unicorn was implacable, and moments later Rainbow Dash found herself perched on a chair inside of the boutique. Is anyone thinking Little Miss Rarity right now? Exactly. Rarity gave an evil yet elegant laugh and paced around her captive, who struggled weakly against the invisible ropes binding her. For too long you've run around with the messiest mane in Equestria, she declared, her horn emanating a mysterious sound, and an oversized hairbrush floated towards Rainbow Dash with sinister intent. Today your wild rainbow tresses shall be tamed! Rainbow Dash cried out in terror, but for not, as the crazed fashionista and her horrible hairbrush closed in. Rarity's makeover technique was much like her combat moves, consisting largely of bumping her hooves and muzzle against Rainbow Dash while the brush flailed the captive's mane and tail. Struck numb by the tonsorial anguish, Dash was helpless to resist, but she could certainly yell. "Help! Help! I'm being frou-froued!" she cried. "Not in my watch," came another voice, deeper with a broad country accent, yet still curiously similar to the voice of Rainbow Dash. With a triumphant trumpet blare, Applejack burst into the boutique, propelled by a glowing violet aura of unicorn magic. "Rarity," she declared sternly, "you know better than going around gussing up ponies without their permission." "Ahaha! You can't stop me, silly filly!" Rarity's horn went reef, and a large hairdryer flew up to menace Applejack. "No pony can stop Rarity. Soon all of Equestria will be fabulous!" But Applejack was fearless, even when the hairdryer started going whoosh and assaulting her with bird-like swoops. "No way, Sugar Cube," she sneered. "Your reign of terrific is over." Applejack launched himself at Rarity, and the battle was on. The combatants were more evenly matched than anyone could have suspected, both well versed in the martial art of randomly smacking against each other, going no, ah! But after a few rounds of epic battle, Rarity backed away and with her horn again, bringing her sinister new weapon, a gigantic tube of lipstick in vivid bubblegum pink. Leaping forward to pin Applejack to the ground, the white unicorn mercilessly smeared the orange earth pony's mouth with girly colors, forcing the frilliest I don't know how to freaking dress skirt in the boutique's giant cupboard wardrobe around Applejack's waist. "Ha ha ha!" Rarity crowed, wickedly allowing her victim to stand up and look at herself in a full-length mirror. The Applejack froze in horror for a moment, and then she reared up on her back legs to give out a cry of the purest soul anguish. "Oh, no!" In a barn at Feed Apple Acres, the real flesh and blood Applejack dunked her muzzle into a trough of cool, clear water, taking a break from the indoor work that she'd been doing to keep busy despite the weather. Her ears flicked up, and she raised her head in a mildly puzzled frown. She turned her head back and forth, thoughtfully staring into space, while her ears swerved slowly and carefully around. She didn't hear anything but the sisterous sound of the rain on the roof. Eventually, she shrugged and lowered her head back down to take a bite from a nearby bale of hay. "Oh! Oh!" Applejack's despairing cry trailed off to a woeful croak. Ah-ha-ha, but yes, Rarity cackled in triumph. Applejack staggered painfully, listing one way then the other before falling weakly on his side. Ah! Too girly, pink lace. Ah! AJ, no! Applejack exclaimed. Rarity let loose an evil villain laugh and advanced towards Dash with the menacing pink lipstick. Only one hope left, Applejack gasped, raising her head painfully from the floor. Fluttershy, you've got to help us. Fluttershy? Rarity laughed scornfully. How is she gonna help? Pinky looked up from the toys and gave Twilight a mystified head tilt. Twilight replied with a broad, impish grin, the gleam of inspiration in her eyes. Oh crap, she's got something in mind. She's got a secret weapon. Hang on a sec. Twilight leapt up and quickly trotted upstairs, grabbing the Fluttershy doll with her magic as she went. Pinky rubbed her chin thoughtfully, pondering what the unicorn might be up to before turning a wicked grin on Rarity's tiny victim. With Rainbow Dash and Applejack both rendered silent and still by the assault and beautify. Does anyone have South Park Stick of Truth? Assault and beautify. Assault and battery. Rarity giggled madly to herself as she smeared the lipstick all over Dash's face before bringing forth a giant soft brush to powder both the victims liberally with magenta blush. So pretty, she sing-song, but then gasped and jumped in surprise as a shadow suddenly loomed over the boutique. Fluttershy was perched on the rim of a gigantic floating wicker basket as she called down in a voice so tiny and squeaky it was on the verge of insulting. Come on, Fluttershy! Be the mayor that you are? I don't know. But be the mayor that you are! Hey, did some pony call for a rescue? She asked cautiously. Fluttershy, thank Apples you're here, Applejack said. Rarity's given us unwanted makeovers. Oh, that's not very nice, is it? Not at all, but you can't stop me, Rarity declared. Come any closer and I'll fancy you up just like the others. Ah ha ha ha! I don't think you will, Fluttershy replied and then took a deep breath and shouted, Get her, my bunnies! Fluttershy made a courageous, graceful leap from her floating basket to the ground, although she clumsily made it seem like she had just fell out of the basket as it tipped over, showering the boutique with her minions. Hundreds of white bunnies, so furry that they didn't seem to have ears or any other features, just puffs of cottony fuzz. Oh no, bunnies! Rarity had time to scream before she was buried in the puffy horde. Curses, my only weakness! Too cute! Too fluffy! With the evil makeover lord vanquished, or at least temporarily stunned, Fluttershy hovered over the bunny pile and called out for Rainbow Dash and Applejack. Are you okay? She asked nervously. Applejack was the first to recover and pop up from under the cotton balls, muttering apple-filled curses. I'm okay, but I gotta get this makeup off. She grabbed a bunny and wiped her face with it. Rainbow Dash emerged and spoke in a voice that for some reason sounded more like Pinkie Pie than she had before. That was a great Fluttershy. That was a great rescue, Fluttershy. You're my awesome hero. No, it was nothing, Fluttershy began modestly, but Rainbow Dash cut her off. Let's make smoochies, the blue Pegasus explained, bopping her lips against Fluttershy and tilting back and forth. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Pinky, Twilight laughed and gave Pinkie Pie a startled, scandalized, open-mouthed grin. Reflexively pulling the Fluttershy doll back, Pinky stuck her tongue out. Oh, relax. These are make-believe ponies. They do smoochies way more often than real ponies. Well, more than the most real ponies anyway. See? Spurned by Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash flew back to Applejack and said, You look really You look real good in that skirt. You look real good with that skirt on, AJ. Thanks, Dashy. Thanks, Dashy Applejack answers. Now for kisses. Mwah! Mwah! Twilight smacked her hoof against her face, slowly dragging it downward, shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter at Pinky's enthusiastic apple dashing. Pinkie Pie, you're something else. Ooh, I am. Pinky dropped the dolls and bounced on her hooves in excitement. Am I a coconut cream pie? Oh, please say I'm a coconut cream pie. Twilight opened her eyes, one eye, and saw nothing but Pinky's face with wide-eyed anticipation, eager to be declared a dessert. Twilight tried to hold back, but with the laugh built up too much pressure, escaping first as a snort, then a sputter through pursed lips. Then she gave up. She fell to the floor, laughing heartily, rolling on her back, holding her belly. Pinky bounced even higher, wearing a big toothy grin and glowing with pride. Then Twilight managed to catch her breath again. Pinky settled onto the ground nearby and asked her indulgently, "There, see? Feeling better now?" "I really am, Pinky." Twilight wiped away the tears, rolling her eyes up towards the pink pony. "I'm glad you came over." "Me too. This is loads better than sitting around the bakery all day with no customers because of the rain." "Yeah, I bet." The suggestion of work drew Twilight's gaze reluctantly towards her writing desk. Oh God, know what? Just skip it. Don't even send it tomorrow. Be like, YOLO. I be so YOLO like I don't need to do this. But yeah, I bet. The suggestion of work drew Twilight's gaze reluctantly towards her writing desk. But I probably should get back to the Not so fast! Boomed a new voice echoing menacingly across the miniature Ponyville. Da-da-da! Alright guys, that was my version of My Little Ponies by Baby Boo. Hope you liked it, and if you liked it, make sure to slam that like button and add it to whatever you want. And really, I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.